Welcome to Math with Mrs. Cox. Today we are going to be in Chapter 12, Lesson 9, Volume of Prisms. If you haven't already, please make sure you have watched the Math Antics video that went along with our previous chapter, Lesson 8. It was called Volume of Prisms. All right, let's dive into this. Volume is the amount of space inside a three-dimensional figure. You can either use the formula below to find the volume of a prism. Length times width times height. Now here they're trying to show you a little shortcut. They've taken length and width and then they have combined it and they now call it base. So they're also trying to tell you base times height. And in this lesson you'll see how they have combined the length and the width and made it into a base. All right, let's dive into it. Common units of volume are cubic inches, cubic feet, cubic yards, cubic centimeters, and cubic meters. Remember, it's cubic because we're doing a three-dimensional object, and the Math Antics video explained that quite well. So if you're still confused about that, go back and watch that Math Antics video on YouTube, the volume of prisms. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is a cooler, and I drew some lines right here so you could see that there is the bottom or the base, and there's the side going up if it was invisible, or if it was see-through, excuse me. On his family vacation to the beach, Armando filled his cooler with water and snacks. Find the volume of the cooler. So one way is length times width times height. Another way is base times height. So let's figure this out. There is the length and the width and the height. So we're going to put 30 times 15 times 20. And when we work that out, we will see that it makes this number, 9,000. 9,000 what? 9,000 inches cubed. Okay, another way is that they decided to multiply the base to be 30. Base equals 30 times 15 and the height is 20. So when you do 30 times 15, you get 450, which is the base. Then you times it by the height, which is 20. So 450 times 20 is 9,000. So there's a couple of different ways you could do that. So the volume of the cooler is 9,000 cubic inches. And why would you want to know that? Well, it's important to know how many bars of chocolate I can fit into my cooler on my picnic, right? Okay, we're on page 955. Let's go to 956. Remember, the associative property of multiplication tells you that that the way in which factors are grouped does not change the product. You can group the factors to make multiplication easier, which is what we did when we times length times width to equal the base. We're using the associative property. Let's figure this one out. This one wants us to do, find the volume of this prism, 9 centimeters, 17, and 7. So the volume, we're going to do the length, which is 17, and then we're going to times it by 7 and times it by 9. And I know that these two numbers together equal 63, because that's a little bit easier in my head to do. So now I just have 17 times 63, and that would be 1071. So I know that the volume of this prism is 1071. Very good. Okay, guided practice. Find the volume of the prism. Again, length times width times height. So the length is 11, the width is 7, and the height is 9. And I can do this really easy in my head. I know that 11 times 7 is 77. So we have 77 times 9. 63 plus 6, 7, 8, 9 would be 69. So 693 millimeters cubed. All right, number 2. Oh, they just had the base times the height. Look what they've done here. They've already gone through and combined it with the associative property, 4 times 6, and they tell you that the base is 24. So we're going to put 24 times 12. So whenever you see B, they're just trying to tell you base. They've already done half the problem for you. So let's do 24 times 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. We have to add a 0 because we're doing the tens column. So we come over here. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 8, 8, 2. 288 feet cubed. Make sure that they always get that little cubed in there. Okay, that was 956. Let's jump on over to 957. Using symbols to find the volume of each prism, use the formula length times width times height, or base times height. Okay, so let's work on this one right here. Let's do the base times the height. So we've got 2 times 4 is 8, then we times the 3. That equals, good job, inches cubed. Okay, number 4, we have base. We can do the base, the length times the width times the height. Let's do 26 times 12. 2 times 6 is 12, 4, 5, bring the 0 down. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 2 is 2, 2, 5 plus 6 is 11, carry the 1, 1, 2, 3. 312. So the base is 312, then we're going to times it by the height. And I like just to add it right here. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 3, 3 times 3 is 9, so 936 centimeters cubed. Ta-da! Times 11 equals 121. So let's take 121 times that last 11, which is the height. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1, 2, 1. Make sure you keep everything straight. 1, 3, 3, 1. So the volume of this is 1,331 inches cubed. Good job. Okay, let's work on number 6. We need to do, oh, they kind of tricked you out here, look. They put a 9 down here, but then they put the 16 up here. So no matter what they do, wherever they put it, you know that these lines are parallel, and these lines are parallel and congruent. So if this is 16, this one is 16, which means this one is also 16. There, that's a little more familiar from what we're used to seeing, right? So now we can do 9 times 16 times 23. 16 times 9. Good job, guys. Hang on, just checking something real quick. Okay, 54. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So we have 144 times 23. 3 times 4 is 12. 12, 13, 3, 4. Put in the 0. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 4 is 8 again. 2 times 1 is 2. 2, 8, 9, 10, 11. Carry the 1. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8, let me double check that. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. 3,312. And it is meters cubed. Okay, a trick to please make sure that you don't forget is when you're doing multiplication like this, you don't forget to add all of the numbers you carry. It's a common mistake I see when we get doing problems like this. If it's easier to do this work on graph paper, please do. Oh, look at this one. They were so nice. They did the base for us already. So they've already done the length times the width. So now all that we have to do is do 108 times the height. But they have, okay, so this one's kind of tricky. They are saying that this is a width. But I want you to realize this is a cube. And when you have a cube, all of the lines are congruent or equal. So we know that even though they only gave us the measurement of this one as 9 centimeters, all of these lines are going to be 9 centimeters. So that, the height is really going to be 9 centimeters. Silly books trying to trick us. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 0 is 0. Bring down the 2. Oh, actually, that's a 7. My bad. 9 times 1 is 9. So then we have 972 centimeters cubed. Okay, now they are pointing specifically that this bottom part, which is the base, which also means length times width, is 90, and then they've given us the height. That was so kind of them. So we have 90 times 11. Whenever you have a number with a 0 in it, you have to multiply. I always like to make it so the 0 is right here because it makes life easier. So that 0 times everything is, well, 0. So then we can just go 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 1 is 9. So then we have 990 feet cubed. All right, let's go to 958. Find the volume of the Frog Queen building in Grace, Austria. The building is, okay, so it's 18 long and it's 17 tall, 17 tall, and 18 wide. So we could also say it is the base is 18. Remember, the associative property means you can put these in any order and it will still work out. So 18 times 18 times 17. All right, let's do this. 18 times 18. I should have actually drawn a building there to make that easier. Oh well, you'll forgive me. 8 times 8 is 64. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Good. Now we put a 0 there. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3. You guys can probably do this faster than me anyway, but I like to go through all of the steps. So 324 meters cubed. Make sure you get that meters cubed in there, okay? Oh, actually, we're not all the way done yet. That's only after doing the length times the width. So that's going to be our base. So now we have to take the 17. Oh, I miss not having you guys in classroom helping me catch my mistakes. All right, let's try this again. So we're going to do this one. So we did the 18 times 18. Now we're going to do 17. 7 times 4 is 28. Do a little 2. 8, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22. Keep everything straight. Good job. So 1 times 4, 1 times 2, 1 times 3. Make sure everything lines up or you'll get a really wonky answer. 6 plus 4 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5,508. That's a much better answer. 5,508 meters cubed. That's the volume of that particular building. Okay, presents. Aw, if we were in class, I'd have some of these wrapped and you'd have to figure out the volume. All right, let's just do these 2D figures, shall we? 2 packages are the same shape in rectangular prisms. Circle the package that has the smaller volume. Okay, now, they made it sound kind of tricky, but just think about it. Which one would hold less stuff? Well, if these were boxes of cereal wrapped up, which one would hold less? Yeah, good job. Okay, explain how the associative property can be used to mentally find the volume of the prism below. Ooh, yay. So remember, the associative property says it doesn't matter what order you put these into. So you need to put here, the associative property would help me figure out which of these are easier to multiply by easier. So associative property, The order doesn't matter. In multiplying. At least multiplying in this case. So for example, we could do 20 times 5, because in my head that's easier, because 2 times 5 is 10, plus another 0 equals 100, right? So then we have 100 times 18, and we can just add, remember when we have anything times 100, we just add the zeros. Then we can equal times 8. That's what happens when I talk and write at the same time. 1800. And that is going to be centimeters cubed. So the associative property, the order doesn't matter in multiplication for this problem. So we can do mentally what's easier. Just like we talked about, 20 times 5 is easier in our head to put together. Equals 100, 100 times 18, 1800, or 1800 cubic centimeters cubed. All right, number 12, how do I find the volume of rectangular prisms? We do volume equals length times width times height, or volume can also be base times height. All right, friends, good job. Let's dive into the homework together in the next chapter or in the next lesson. Thanks, friends.